the one, the only, the Gooner Game Review is back. Gooner Game Review, Gooner Game Review, Gooner Game Review, Gooner Game Review. So glad to see all you again for another Gooner Game Review. It's been a while since I had one of these bad boys made because of many different factors. For today, I got a game which came out of left field for majority of people, but I knew about it. I wishlisted it back when it was showed off at... Yeah, I don't even remember where it showed off. I just remember seeing it, okay? Leave me alone. It's Ditch Batch! But I'll be honest, even I was somewhat iffy about the game beforehand because it's a new developer, and I thought it looked alright. I wasn't anything too sure about it. It was one of those games where it's like, you wishlist it, you put it on the back burner, and then once it comes out, you're like, you see maybe some reviews or stuff like that. But today, I'll be switching things up a little bit from the usual Gooner Game Review of having 3 big groups I talk about, and instead I'll have a bunch of quote-unquote mini groups. So let's get right into this. The biggest and most important to any game, obviously, is the gameplay. Then I'll be discussing stuff like the visuals, which I think is pretty good. And then the most impressive of them all, in my opinion, for this game, the characters / story. I kind of mix them together kind of thing, because characters obviously push the story forward kind of thing. Then a quick overview of the quote-unquote monetization, the music, and maybe a few more things if I end up getting lost in the sauce as I record this. And then finally, like always, I will be giving the Gooner review and the Gooner rating, whichever one you want to call it, before finally, at the end, having an overall rating for everyone from a gamer, obviously, myself. Obviously, if you disagree with any of my rankings, go ahead and leave a civil discussion in the comments. I'm always ready to talk with y'all, whether you agree or disagree, as long as we remain peaceful. As always, just for anyone that's new here, I always do at the end a 1 to 10 review, just like always for everything, as I always start off with just like talking points and then go on to the ratings. So first up, we got the gameplay. So the first thing I always have to talk about is the main thing of the game, which is dispatching heroes. Honestly, I was very skeptical about this because that's one of the reasons I was like, I'm not sure if I want to buy this. But I watched a little bit of a video. I'm like, you know what? That seems pretty chill and fun. Overall, as someone that's played it twice, both runs for Invisigal and Blonde Blazer, I think it's great. I love the hero leveling, that you can have the unique like skills with different characters, like Invisigal and what's his name? The big rock guy. I'm brain farting here. I don't remember. I'm not going to go into it. Obviously, each hero is unique. You can level them up however you want to, but each one's better in certain things. Plus, the one thing I was actually really surprised about, because I played about 14 hours of the game, is I only had one bug ever. That was one thing that shocked me, because I was like, in like today's economy, only having one bug in 14 hours, that is amazing. The other part of the gameplay, which was a pretty big part, or quote unquote pretty big, I do a lot of quote unquotes today, is the hacking. I thought it was meh. I thought it could have been removed and not many people would have cared. But I think it does add a little fun thing to kind of change things up so you're not just sitting there the entire time watching characters. I think it definitely needed a little bit more work done to it, but overall, pretty decent. The quick time events, oh my goodness, they were heavily underutilized, like heavy. Several times throughout the episodes, I was like sitting there thinking like, wait a minute, there's supposed to be quick time events in this thing. Where the hell are they quick time events? It's just, I don't understand why they even added them at that point. Like, I get for like certain fights, but like, I think there was like 3 fights in the entire game. maybe in like season 2. Hopefully, fingers crossed that it comes back in season 2. Or if there even is a season 2. That it's written or shown a bit better, more integral to the story with quick time events, where if like you fail it, an actual big thing can happen. And finally, never really sure where to put this, but it's a story. Sometimes I put it in gameplay, sometimes I put it with characters. So this is kind of like a mixed area kind of situation. I won't do any spoilers because obviously sometimes people come to reviews and they don't want the spoilers. They just want to say like, hey, why do you like this game? Why might I like this game? Why might I might not like this game? And overall, very good story. Well, maybe not very great. I'll say just great. Just great is fine. Love the romance for the characters because each character was really good. I enjoyed them. I liked them. I was very surprised with certain parts that added to the Gooner rating that you'll find out later. But you could definitely tell some scenes were cut from the game, which I feel could have made it better. I know they talked about having like some very, very not safe for work scenes. It's nothing you can do now, really, unless they like add some like DLC to add them back in, which would be bonkers. I also feel a few part of the game were like very rushed or undeveloped, such as like Coop and Sonar, those two being the big ones. Like I said, I'm not gonna go into spoilers for what happened, but I just feel like at least the very least those two should have had more moments, because it showed at the beginning of the story, more beginning I'll say, of the story, that they seemed like they would be more like integral to the story when they weren't. Visuals, there's not much to say here. I personally love the like more cartoony anime-ish style. I don't know what the exact kind of style is, but when I think of like superheroes and villains, that's kind of one thing I think of. Obviously, everyone has their own opinions. You can fairly easily look up pictures, screenshots of the game and decide, do I like this? Do I not? That kind of thing. Now, on to the big one. Characters. So, I'll go by kind of a different rating than I usually do. I'm doing like specific characters this time. So, Robert, obviously, is the main character. I actually really enjoyed him as the main character. I think it was cool that he was able to be different from us, but also you can very easily put yourself into his shoes, which I feel is like something a lot of main characters should have. Even if they look like supermodels, I feel like you should be able to look at him and be like, I could be like that. Especially for like the romance parts that happen in the game. Blonde Blazer / Mandy. Now, these parts might have a little bit of spoilers, but I'm still going to try to keep it on the low. For me, unlike I think most people, I actually really enjoyed both her and Invisigirl because I did both routes, as I said before. Because both of them fit two different stereotypes that I really enjoy. I love that overall she was just like a really nice person. That's sexy. But not in a way that's like, oh, I can do everything. I can do this, I can do that, I'm better than you. She actually was just like, she had her flaws to her that made her stand out. Her flaws, unique quirks, and everything. I really enjoyed that part about her. Plus, honestly, her overall design just fits so well for a superhero game. Because it's like, she's got the like iconic like somewhat leotard suit that a lot of female heroes seem to wear in like the past. She's got the cape. She's got the cool mask. Plus, spoilers, if you want to skip ahead, just to do a quick like 5 seconds. Obviously, she can swap hair colors. Hell the fuck yes, baby. Best of both worlds. Now, for Invisigirl / Courtney, as I said with Blonde Blazer, I love the fact that both of them had their uniqueness to them that made them both very likable in certain ways. I really love the build up for her story about how she clearly hiding stuff from the beginning, that doubted herself, and then finally began trying to warm up. Obviously, that's a very summed up version of what happened, but as I said, no spoilers. I was pretty underwhelmed at the end of the story. Now, it could be because I did 2 playthroughs and just felt the ending wasn't changed enough for my liking between the two. But to me, I just wish that both her and Blonde Blazer had very different endings depending on what you did. Even if it's just like a ending cutscene where it's like not just kissing. Now, for the Z team, I really enjoyed them. I felt like it was such a good showing that people do enjoy a crazy group of characters. Like Punch Up, a guy who's extremely short but super strong, a literal Batman, a muscle mommy demon. I know a lot of people like her. And then obviously the others are all unique in their own way, from Prism to Coop, yada yada yada. My only complaint, as many people have said, is I wish there was more endings with the other girls, just because I'm a greedy sucker. But no, in real, I just wanted more to the story to better learn the characters. Because when we had the fight scene, like shortly after that in the bar, I really enjoyed learning little things about them that makes them unique from other characters you see just in the background. Hopefully in a season 2, maybe we can romance like 1 or 2 more. Like, to me personally, I'm fine with really any of them. If I can, I mean, is there any of the girls I don't like? Not really. I'm a horny bastard. No. Just teasing. But yeah, I do hope there is some more with season 2, if it hopefully comes out someday. The villains, actually, this is one of my favorite parts, because the villains were all like really unique in their own funny way. They kind of sometimes made fun of superheroes stories, like the acid guy who, when he goes into his acid mode, his pee-pee's out, he just let it hang. Or the huge robot arms dude, but in reality his real arms are like super tiny. Or even, I don't think many people notice, was like background, there's a girl in the background that's like a goth chick that has telekinesis. Even her design is fairly unique. I believe it's because she was meant to be in the Z team, but then was cut or something like that. I don't know the full story. While I do think the main villain was a bit basic in appearance, I think the voice actor really sold the role for him. Speaking of voice actors, I think all of them did a great job. Well, at times it did feel a bit weird hearing some big YouTubers talking as the characters. I think it added very well to like the quirky, fun nature of the game. And now, the best boy of them all. You all didn't think I forgot about the best boy Beef, did you? I mean, just look at this little adorable guy and tell me you don't already all love him. Come on, don't lie to me. Up next is monetization. Not much here to say. $30 for the game. Absolute steal in my opinion. I am a bit biased because I've been getting really heavy into like single player games, so that might be a little bit. For the music, I was actually pleasantly surprised because I played it on stream, so I had the copyright free version, and I think overall it was still really good, because I went back later and listened to like just the songs by themselves for the non-copyright version, so like the one that obviously you can't have everywhere. And I felt both times they fit really well. I mean, yeah, it was obviously better with the one that's copyrighted, but for what they had, I think they did a great job. Plus the Prism song in the bar scene, chef's kiss. And what's his name? Flambe. That song was funny. I know one of my friends had that song, his song stuck in his head for a long time. So there you have it. A redo done by gamers, for gamers, and the Gooners. Don't forget about them. I don't forget about you boys. And girls. I doubt there's any girls, but you know what I'm talking about. That I made for having a radar that every gamer can see that is unbiased to outside factors. So now let's do a final ratings for the game in case you want to skip to this part. Gameplay gets a 6.5 out of 10 punch-up cockshocks. This is a heavily story focused game that almost runs sort of like a TV show that's a little bit interactable. While I wish there was more gameplay, sadly, I can't rate it higher than this. Visuals get a 9 out of 10 acid guy butts. As I said before, I love the cartoony art style. It's a great mix of cartoony, but being unique. Just very, very good at it. Characters and story get an 8.5 out of 10 beefs. While I did put these together just because, as I said, I think they fit really well together. If you want me to split them up, characters get a 9, story gets an 8. That's why I did 8.5. Simple as that. Now I'll quickly name off the other ratings very quickly. Monetization, 10 out of 10. Music, 7 out of 10. And for the best rating of them all, the Gooner rating gets an 8 out of 5. Sexy pictures of the girls from this game. I love the small additions that they added to the game. I won't spoil. I'm so tempted because this is a Gooner Game review. I kind of want to show it out there, but I don't want to spoil the scenes for you. So you just have to trust me on this one. So, as you can see, overall, a very, very good game, especially for only $30. Like when you see COD getting released every single year for $60 versus this one, it's like, it's night and day, especially because this one's an indie game. By the way, plus it's also a great thing to watch. I watched a YouTuber play it afterwards just for fun. Very fun to even watch other players play the game. Quick plug, by the way, I have both routes on my YouTube if you want to see them. Just a little plug. Finally, for an overall score of the game for gamers and gooners alike is 7.5 out of 10 stars. Pretty high up there. I know I've been having a lot of high games for all my Gooner Game reviews, but it's kind of difficult when I buy the games. It's like I buy games I already think I like, so it's like, yeah. Hope you all enjoyed, and stay tuned because the next Gooner Game review, or oh my god, why I just freeze there. The next Gooner Game review is the Gooner Game of the decade so far, Stellar Blade. Remember, boys and girls, stay vigilant, stay gooning, and have a wonderful rest of your day.